Welcome back, truth seekers, to the House of Memories, where we pull back the curtain of the glossy world of Prince Harry plus Meghan Markle. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our channel. Some shocking royal news to start your week with a bang, all over again. Get ready for turmoil in the palace as King Charles's health takes a turn for the worse. We have a full-blown crisis, folks. But before we jump into the rocky sea of that bombshell, if you have not already, please subscribe and click the bell. Don't miss out on the bomb stuff we have coming. So now, let me illustrate the scenario. You would think, there is this big international commemoration coming up today in Normandy, France, with President Biden and Emmanuel Macron, and all false flags have been put on the back burner. Commemorating 80 years since those who fought for freedom on the beaches of Normandy during World War II made the ultimate sacrifices. Sort of thing a reigning royal should get called back to, no? Indeed, saying he was too frail to attend such an important event, simply for his mental well-being, his doctors advised for the worst time to participate in any sense, and so frail King Charles was effectively banned from even turning up to this crucial do. Allow that degree of panic to set in. The monarch of the UK, head of state, and supreme governor of the Church of England of his own volition, too feckless and infirm to attend the year's most important military commemoration of his home country. This revelation is game-changing. A sickly King Charles who has spent his whole life in preparation for the throne from which a long shadow is cast over his ability to carry out his royal duties. This is about more than missing an event, it is about the future and viability of the monarchy. If he is too ill to attend what is an important event, what does this say about his health and fitness to rule and represent the nation more generally? Since there have been whispers of the king's ill health for weeks, the palace is also abuzz with rumor. Although attempts have been made to keep what he is dealing with out of the public eye, it has slowly but surely become apparent that something is wrong. The fact that the king did not appear at the D-Day commemoration acts as the return address on a bleeding letter for how bad is bad. While the royal family are known for their secrecy when it comes to anything personal, this is too big of a development to keep under wraps. It also triggers the issue of the succession of the heir and the future prospects of the royal lines. As King Charles falls ill, all eyes turn to Prince William and the role he may play in these dark days. This is a family versed in crisis, this one is existential. All eyes are on the palace, every move they make is being monitored. We will keep a close eye on this and you can expect more news as soon as we get it. Now, the next few days and weeks will tell which way the monarchy goes. The health of King is the concern of state and it has never been more critical. The royal family was absolutely gutted by this news. So instead the prince had to deputize for his ailing father to represent the crowd. His sudden coronation as king was the result solely of circumstance. Does your ultimate successor have to come in and do your day-to-day job for you, because you are withering and weak in the face of cancer? The sheer humiliation. It is not something from which any ruling monarch should have to suffer, and it is repellent to their God-given dignity as queen. A near full-blown constitutional crisis. The symbolism alone is impressive. A monarch who was once strong and vital, now reduced to the point of being unfit to carry out his duties, strikes at the very heart of the monarchy's efforts to look perpetual and constant. Oh, also, William and Kate were rumored to have been seen tearful and red-eyed at this other D-Day event earlier today, lest we forget. It is a harrowing and unprecedented scene of the man and woman who will be king and the queen consort in full display of their grief. A realization that however neat the world of royalty appears, it is exactly that, a world, restricted to living their own too human crisis as scandal engulfs the ancient institution. Yes, the current and one, at least, of Britain's future ruling monarchs weeping openly in public at the thought of Charles's failing health. Why bother, you must ask yourself, about chasing the vigorous 74-year-old we all saw happily celebrating his coronation just a month ago, because he is clearly already a rapidly fading shadow of himself, ravaged by illness and the grueling treatments taking their toll. From joyous celebration of a new reign, to vigil over a stricken king, the contrast is stark. The tension and angst were clear as day on William's face as he held the fort in Normandy, in place of his father. Families carrying the weight of a nation on the shoulders of the heir as his dad is breathing his last. All of Christine Keeler, troubles and general good citizenry restoring face-saving of the monarchy appear almost nothing in this moment of a crisis that is real and acute. The institution is now facing a test of resilience like never before. The public seemed divided between sympathy and fear. Much of the empathy is at a guttural level. Many people have walked in the royal family's shoes, watching loved ones suffer. However, there is an underlying anxiety about the impact that this will have on the future of the monarchy. That is a fact that hangs over the future stability of the royal succession, under the cloud of Charles's health. William stepping up earlier than planned is both a sign that a younger, modernizing king may be on the horizon and disconcerting due to the unexpectedness. A symbol of centuries-old continuity in the monarchy, the institution is entering a period of great disruption. It is a fragile balancing act. The king is not well, the heir is not well prepared, and the public is unlike Romans of old. It will be a defining time for the institution, the reaction to it a reckoning with the kind of royal sensibilities that have been allowed to persist in the 21st century. On the other hand, it could also crash down as the crown changes hands under the darkest and most volatile of circumstances. No wonder Kate was upset. This was meant to be a triumphant symbolic occasion for the new monarch, a demonstration of his fitness and steadiness in the saddle just weeks after becoming king. It's a wonderful old-time tradition, going back to his grandpa, King George, in WW2 running trains with the guys defeating the Nazis. But they instead drastically cut back how much Charles was shown after his long battle with cancer reached a final agonizing hurdle. Instead of reviewing troops and playing host to world leaders as a peer on the international stage, he played a tiny bit-part role. Feeling humble next to President MN, fighting to stay up straight whilst his sun shines in the light meant for him. You either watched Charles's light slowly creep out of his eyes or saw it happening in real time. His fragile health was stripping him of the triumphant global introduction every new monarch craves. Though it's awful to see a human being degrade so quickly and lose so much to disease, let's be real, Charles's almost violent misfortune here is, to a very large extent, his own doing. After all, this was a man who spent decades humiliating the institution of the monarchy with his selfish exploits and promiscuity. Publicly embarrassing his naively young new bride Diana in a manner that eternally destroyed the dream image of contemporary royalty, only to now be threatened with lacking his own fairy tale conclusion upon being crowned king. Just perhaps, the Queen is now finally reconciled to the idea that everything she has since managed to achieve with her dynasty has been as much in spite of her son as thanks to him, with every act of Charles's tireless pride, vanity, and ego arguably doing his household's reputation more harm than any scandal in living memory. That ego has now spectacularly blown up on him, denying him the opportunity to restore himself as the wise king returning to a new golden age. If not, the harsh reality is his reign will simply be a potty stop along the way of Elizabeth to William. The Normandy feature was designed to reflect two ideas: the preservation of a rich royal tradition and a fresh period of stability and success under King Charles. But he had looked so frail, played so small, hadn't he? The disconnect between what was assumed to be a strong king and what was in fact a weak king barely holding himself together was grand. It was a sharp reminder that life was unpredictable, and fate tended to take the plans you laid out so carefully and shove them back in your face. When Charles had then held MN's hand, next to him had been his son William looking every inch, and as was his duty, every centimeter the future king the public has been waiting for, in both senses. The first reminder of the future, something that had long been in the offing, but seemed closer than anyone could have guessed, was the presence of William. Of course, given that William appeared so close to finally acquiring the role his father had long shown himself to be chomping at the bit to assume but was now being so demonstrably denied the ability to fully enjoy, the cameras of the world naturally turned their attention towards the future king. Along with whatever comes out about his current troubles, Charles's personal scandals and public controversies have overshadowed his efforts throughout much of his career. The early part of his life was a string of choices that actively appeared to erode the foundations of the monarchy he was destined, by birthright and vocation, to protect. His infamous affair with the then Camilla Parker Bowles, which was a factor in the collapse of his marriage to Princess Diana, so tarnished the image of the royal family. Well, those past very public transgressions have come back to haunt many, and now they are being held to a public account as if this the karmic payback, from an old friend. Charles's predicament is also a bitter irony that not many can overlook. A guy who once seemed so all-powerful, so sure of his history and place, now lay in a position of weakness and feebleness. His fight against cancer, however, has also removed his royal aura of invincibility, leaving the man behind to confront his mortality. It is a humbling spectacle, and it sort of makes of you feel sorry, but it also reminds you that power and fame are temporary. Charles's present travails, which also include belated admissions of a romantic relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles during his failed marriage to Diana, Princess of Wales, stand in sharp relief to the impeccable poise of William and Kate in the wider context of the monarchy's future. They represent the hope and continuity that the monarchy so desperately needs. As the future of Charles's reign becomes shrouded in doubt, inevitably the spotlight is on what this will mean for William and Kate and the future of the British royal family. Nothing can possibly matter more to the future of the monarchy than the extent to which they have learnt from the past, managed to avoid the pitfalls into which Charles has fallen, and succeeded in presenting a new, coherent image of a modern royal family worthy of the name. Finally, the picture of a frail and overshadowed King Charles at the Normandy event sums up the tumultuous transition phase that the British monarchy is currently experiencing. It is a reminder of the ever-evolving balance of power and the unending march of time. Although things did not go as either Charles or the public imagined during Charles's reign, it bodes well for the future with William and Kate, the couple that the face of Britain wants and now expects, as they won't just lead, but the nation is looking to them to rally around with hope, with some sense that things might get better and that there's some relief for all the turmoil that's unfolding around them. That's it for our video, my friends. I hope you have liked it. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, and like the video. If you haven't done so yet, if you want to be first to be informed about my content, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on notifications. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself and stay healthy. I'll see you in the next one.